Hello and welcome to United Report. This is your home for all the latest Manchester United news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Old Trafford. Manchester United have done their best to alienate the loyal match-going fan this season, hiking up ticket prices, abolishing concessions, and relocating fans who have sat in the same seats for decades in order to sell them at a premium price to tourists and day trippers. United supporters have made their feelings clear, with demonstrations, marches, and a sit-in after the final whistle following the drab, goalless Manchester derby earlier this month. In a year, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his cronies have achieved what seemed impossible, making themselves as unpopular with fans as United's reviled owners, the Glazer family. But last night, United supporters showed why their loyalty should never be taken for granted, creating an electric atmosphere at what can often be a subdued Old Trafford. A giant Tifo banner, the first in United's history, was unfurled in the Sir Alex Ferguson stand before kick-off, the result of a joint enterprise between the club and fans, depicting the captains, Sir Bobby Charlton, Brian Robson, Peter Schmeichel, Rio Ferdinand, and Wayne Rooney holding United's 5 European trophies with the message, "Never gonna stop." It was a bold statement of intent. There have been some legendary European nights under the lights at Old Trafford, notably the epic 3-0 win over Barcelona in 1984 and a 1-0 win, courtesy of a Paul Scholes Exocet missile strike, over the same opposition in 2008 to book United's place in the final. With such a dramatic finale, 3 goals in the second half of extra time, including a 121st-minute winner from Harry Maguire, this is up there with Old Trafford's epic European nights. Long after the final whistle, United fans could be heard singing their familiar Amorim chant to the tune of Bonnie Tyler's "It's a Heartache." With United 4-2 down on the night, 6-4 on aggregate, it looked like being heartache for Amorim and his players. But United never know when they are beaten, even in one of their worst seasons in living memory, especially with the unwavering support of their formidable fans. Harry Maguire sent Old Trafford into jubilation with his winning goal against Lyon, but few appeared as ecstatic as Andre Onana. The Manchester United goalkeeper started earlier celebrations by cupping his ears towards the League One side's fans, but on this occasion made a mad dash towards Ruben Amorim. The Red Devils' number 1 marauded up the pitch while his teammates joined match winner Maguire before planting his feet on the halfway line and lifting his head coach into the air. Altay Bayindir was also in the technical area and gave an enthusiastic hug to his colleague before Onana made his way back to his net. United are through to the Europa League semi-final after defeating their French opposition in dramatic fashion in extra time on Thursday evening. Onana may have felt a degree of relief after committing costly errors in the first leg. But despite conceding 4 goals at Old Trafford, Onana was not particularly at fault for any of them, having made his return to goalkeeping duties after being left out of United's squad to take on Newcastle. Amorim had offered his number 1 the opportunity to reset after a taxing time before seeing him return for the European clash. It had been suggested the Portuguese coach may have ramped on the pressure on the 29-year-old even further with his decision-making. But Onana appeared to appreciate his coach's methods with a serious display of celebration in stoppage time of extra time. It's safe to say Onana was happy with the result, and his own display too. The Cameroon national even took to social media to deliver a message. Built with Onana mentality, he posted on X. The shot-stopper accompanied his message with an oncoming fist and red circle. Ahead of United's first leg, Onana became entangled in a war of words with ex-Old Trafford midfielder Nemanja Matic. The Serbia international suggested Onana was one of the club's worst ever goalkeepers. United legend Paul Scholes even had a word with the Lyon ace before play got underway in the quarter-final second leg. He detailed their conversation on TNT Sports. "I just told him to leave our goalkeeper alone." But no, that was it. He was some player Matic. He looks well. Obviously, I played against him quite a few times, me and Rio when he was at Chelsea. He was just saying he's nearly 37. He's got another year left. He looks fit. He looks strong. But hopefully he doesn't have a good night tonight. Ruben Amorim has reached the biggest game of his Manchester United tenure as his side host Lyon at Old Trafford on Thursday night. Amorim knows this game represents his only route towards rescuing his dreadful debut campaign as United manager, which has featured a litany of poor results. United sit 14th in the Premier League table, following the 4-1 thrashing by Newcastle on Sunday, and winning the Europa League is their only chance of securing European football next season. Before they can even consider that possibility, they must get past Lyon, who arrive in Manchester with the tie level at 2-2 after last week's first leg. That game was defined by Andre Onana errors, with the United goalkeeper at fault for both of the French side's goals, including Ryan Cherki's 95th minute equaliser. Onana was dropped for the Newcastle game, with Amorim deciding to take him out of the firing line and hand a Premier League debut to Altay Bayindir. But that move had no effect, with Bayindir dropping a clanger of his own at St James's Park to ensure Amorim only had one choice for this crucial game. He confirmed on Wednesday that Onana will be back between posts with a chance of redemption. "I have the conversation with my coaches, but it is my decision in the end," Amorim said. "I think Andre deserves to return to the competition. He will hope that the Cameroon international can redeem himself, or at the very least, not make any more big mistakes." As they have been all season, Amorim's options in defence are limited by injuries, with Lisandro Martinez, Matthijs de Ligt and Aiden Heaven unavailable. Johnny Evans has returned to training, but also won't feature against Lyon, leaving Lenny Yoro, Harry Maguire and Noussair Mazraoui as the back three. A lot of emphasis will be placed on wing-backs Diogo Dalot and Patrick Dorgu to support attacks, with a defensively minded midfield pairing of Manuel Ugarte and Casemiro likely to start. United have kept just 2 clean sheets in their last 14 games across all competitions, so the duo will have to protect the shaky backline. As ever, Bruno Fernandes will captain the side, playing as one of the 2 number 10s alongside Alejandro Garnacho. The Argentina winger scored United's only goal against Newcastle on the weekend and will be tasked with stretching the Lyon defence. Up front, it will be Rasmus Højlund after Joshua Zirkzee limped out of the Newcastle match with a hamstring injury. Amorim confirmed yesterday that he will miss the remainder of the season. "Joshua is out for the season," Amorim told reporters. "He is not going to play anymore this season. We must prepare him for next season. It is hard for any player to stop, but it's football. He has to be ready to recover." Manchester United have been urged to sign Ipswich striker Liam Delap and 2 midfielders this summer as Ruben Amorim looks to revamp his squad. United have endured a woeful campaign so far, with the club languishing 14th in the Premier League. However, United Chief Executive Omar Barada stated last month that club is ready to back Amorim in the summer transfer window, and Mirror Football understands that they are hoping to raise around £200 million by selling players and save up to £80 million a year on wages. And former United defender Paul Parker, who won 2 league titles during his time at Old Trafford, believes that money should be spent on 3 players who will help get the best out of club captain Bruno Fernandes. Parker, speaking via the home of UFC betting, said, "I think you've got to be looking at replacing at least 2 players in midfield. I think you need more energy in there, and I like Manuel Ugarte and what he does, and I think he will be even more effective with more energy and legs around him. I don't think Casemiro and Christian Eriksen are the right players for United at this time. Casemiro will play on Thursday, but he gets slaughtered when United lose because people say his legs have gone. But he never had legs, and was just very clever in how he played. He's good to watch, but you need 2 midfield players. More legs from 2 attacking midfield players. As good as what Bruno plays when United are chasing, he's not that ideal person because of his discipline problems when he has the ball. United have also been heavily linked with a move for Ipswich's Delap, who has netted 12 league goals this season in a side that looks set to be relegated. Delap reportedly has a £30 million release clause if Ipswich go down, and Parker believes he would be an excellent addition. "I would look at a hungry centre forward, and I would take Liam Delap all day long," Parker added. "All day long you'd take him. I love his work ethic, the fact that he's never beaten. He's desperate to prove himself, and he's desperate to score goals. He wants to run past people, make unselfish runs, and turn the bad into the good. He reminds me of a young Mark Hughes, and not afraid to put himself about. Anything Mark Hughes trademark." However, United look set to face stiff competition for Delap's services, with the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool and Newcastle all credited with an interest in the 22-year-old Ipswich boss Kieran McKenna was recently quizzed on Delap's future and claimed it is certainly a possibility that the club could keep hold of him in the Championship. It's not something that's been discussed loads internally because everyone's focus, honestly, has been on Bournemouth, on Wolves, now on Chelsea, McKenna said. But if you ask me, is that a possibility? I think it's certainly a possibility. Liam's a young striker. He's developing really, really well at the football club. He's happy and he's improving every week and we're enjoying working with him. I'm sure there's lots of different possibilities. But Liam's an Ipswich player. He enjoys being an Ipswich player, and that's where his full focus is.